Okay, I thought I'd send a demo on feeding your starter. So ingredients, flour, scale, water, and then starter. So you don't actually need much in your jar, like to feed. Like the more starter you have, the more you're gonna have to feed it, because there will be more that needs to, like, I guess eat is what you'd say. I don't know. So I just dump it down the drain. Some people don't like wasting it, and they'll actually make something with all of their discards. Like if you search a sourdough discard recipe, that's what it's talking about, what you would get rid of so you don't have to feed it so much. But anyway, so I just dump it down the drain. You don't have to have much. See if I can show you. It's just like, won't focus on the inside of the jar. Not really. Okay, you can kind of see. It's not much. I mean, it was full. Now it's not very full. So my bread, I'm going to make bread tomorrow, and I need 245 grams of starter for the bread. All right, trying to zero that. So I normally feed it like at least 150 grams of flour and water. So it's like a total of 300, which will give me enough for the bread, and then still have some left over to feed again. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like it could be 147 grams that you put in there. It could be 180. It doesn't really matter. So I just use a spoon and scoop it. Sometimes I dump it from the bag into the jar, but I normally make a mess when I do that. So, I mean, I make a mess anyways, but anyhow. So just scooping. It'll take several scoops. We're at 116. Like 1 or 2 more scoops. 139. I'll do one more scoop. So then I put 159 grams of flour. So then I'll just zero it again. And then I'll pour 159 grams of water. And then if you pour too much, I mean, you can always add a little bit more flour or just roll with it. I mean, I don't think it's a make or break. Sometimes my starter gets really thick, and I'll put a little bit more water than flour just to try to make it a little bit more thin. You don't want it to be watery by any means, but sometimes it's just really thick. So, and then the utensil I didn't have. This is what I stir it with. You don't have to stir it with wood. So Liz is the one who taught me sourdough, and she told me that you can't stir it with metal utensils. And so, anyhow, she had a lot of rules that were like really particular, and I'm not quite sure that that's one that has to be followed, because like when you make your bread, you'll mix it with like a metal dough whisk, and that's fine. Or when you put it in your like metal stand mixer bowl, that's fine. So I don't think that the metal actually matters, but it is nice to have like a long skinny stick to stir with. So you just stir it until it's all combined. I'm gonna need both hands. Let's see. I'm gonna put the video. Just like that. Okay. So you just want to make sure that it's all mixed in, like flour, water, and starter. So scraping the bottom, scraping the edges. Like sometimes I like barely make enough starter and it looks like I used it all. But even just the starter that's still on the edges of your jar is enough to, like, you could just add however much flour and water you want and it'll get bubbly again. And so you really, I mean, you just need like a pea-size amount of starter in order to get your flour and water mixture bubbly again. So that's kind of nice. Okay, I don't know. Let me see if I can show you like the consistency. You see it? Like it's still like kind of lumpy. Like you're not going to get it perfectly smooth, but it's kind of equally lumpy in there. And that's it. So then I just put, I don't have it right now out, but I just put a coffee filter on top with like a rubber band. And that lets it like still get some air, but I mean, if you have like a fly in the house, you can keep it out. So Yeah, just put a coffee filter on and then it'll be good to go. I'm videoing upside down. Ha ha ha. 5 minutes. Trying to think. There was something else I was going to say. Oh, in the winter, so that's feeding your starter, like adding flour and water. I only do that once a day in the winter. In the summer, when it's warmer, I have to feed it twice. I feed it before I go to bed and then again when I wake up in the morning, just because it grows faster. But anywho, there's a demo.